J.W. Morrison, geologist on the Central Coast, New South Wales, Australia. Well, as many of you know, Lydia Thorpe made a public spectacle of herself and disrespected the King of England, King Charles. And it wasn't a very good look at all for Lydia Thorpe. A lot of Aboriginal leaders have opposed what she's done. As a matter of fact, some have said she does not represent the Aboriginal people. And if I was Lydia Thorpe, that would be very concerning to me, being rejected by the people that I thought I represented. Let's see what Lydia Thorpe's attitude is after all the feedback from the events that took place when she had an outburst at King Charles. Now, viewers, this woman was trouble from the start. When they tried to inaugurate her into the Senate, she mocked the Queen. The Queen's now passed away. I'm going to play Lydia Thorpe interruption at the Parliament reception with King Charles. I've never heard that last week before. I think she was saying F the colony or something.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And so after that absolutely offensive outburst, and I'm sure many of you have got your opinions about the monarch. For me, I have high respect for the monarch. They've definitely done nothing wrong to me. And I'm not saying that to the negligence that possibly of those in which they have. I think for the most part they're good people who try and help. I know they do a lot of good. Let's see what Lydia Thorpe's attitude is this time after her misrepresentation of the Australian Senate and the Aboriginal people.
It's completely false. And it is, it's just another attack to shut me down. The colonial system is all about shutting black women down.
Now, viewers, do you think this woman's saying that she got shut down? Would you run in there like that? Would you run in there? Would you run in there like that? Right, and expect to be received? I don't think so. You would be locked up. You would be handcuffed. Now, because this woman's in the Senate, apparently she can get away with it. Now, she's saying it's the way in which they attack Aboriginal women. That is just, this woman's out of sorts. Obviously, she's got no self-awareness of the way in which she's gone about all this. There was nothing dignified about it. There was nothing respectful about it, or anything that would represent the Senate. I think Anthony Albanese has now proven himself to be a completely weak leader for Australia. He's got no disciplinary ways in which he sorts these people. I think she should be immediately dismissed from the Australian Senate. But she's got no consciousness of how bad what she did was.
In this country, they've got a very good track record of that. For those that don't agree with what I have said and what I have done, I can tell you now, there are elders, there are grassroots Aboriginal people across this country and Torres Strait Islander people who are just so proud. They say that it's lit a fire back in their belly and they want to...
Well, I'd like to know where they are. I think she's just trying to prop herself up. She said last night that her grandma supports her. I can respect that, I suppose. I don't know who her grandmother is, and God bless her. But I can tell you, the masses of people with any integrity and dignity and respect, given what the establishment, the royal establishment and the Australian government gives to the Indigenous people, I think she's completely taken for granted all the apologies and blessings and financial grants and things that the establishment has given to the Aboriginals. The Aboriginals are not neglected. The Aboriginals are where they are, not because of abuse or being mistreated or disrespected. I can tell you right now, I don't think anybody would go barging in to an Aboriginal meeting like that. As a matter of fact, most of our events now have a welcome, which I think they're talking about disintegrating to every event you go. I can go to an event here and be welcomed into my country by an Aboriginal and go to the next suburb and have the same thing. It gets a bit monotonous after a while, but she's trying to prop herself up and justify what she did as being normal and acceptable, and it's absolutely not.
To join the resistance, I've been contacted by elders.
So hang on a sec, what is the resistance? This woman's supposed to be an Australian senator. She's getting over $200,000 a year in taxpayers' money. I don't want to pay taxpayers' money to somebody that's supposedly running a resistance. The country's in enough trouble without people like... What is she going to do to benefit the Aboriginals? In all honesty, what is Lydia Thorpe going to do besides this sort of nonsense, right? Apparently a resistance, to benefit the Aboriginals any more than what they already have been?
Who have said, particularly a Ngunnawal elder who said, I wished you had have told me you were going to do that because I would have walked right beside you and done exactly the same thing.
Okay. So, well, they didn't. Why is it then? People would have known that she was going to do it. I think there's a lot of attention seeking going on here with this woman. She's broken away from the party that instituted her into the Senate and become an independent. I don't know what she's standing for. Apparently a rebellion, a resistance against the government which she swore to serve. The ideology is so outrageous and unacceptable. If it was anybody else, they'd be locked up.
Thorpe is an embarrassment, mainly to herself, of course, but also to our system of government, proving perhaps that our constitution is not quite perfect. She was elected as a Victorian senator under the Greens banner, but quit that party because it's not radical enough for her, apparently, and now she sits as a rogue independent. 6 years in the Senate, about 3 to go. Paid way too much to do far too little, with no accountability to anyone. She's not the first senator to go down this route, so this is a problem that needs to be fixed sometime. For now, we're left with hypocrisy on steroids. The woman who screams this...
You committed genocide against our people! Give us our land back! Give us what you stole from us! Our bones, our skulls, our babies, our people! You destroyed our land!
She says he's not her king. Well, that same woman only collects a salary and has her national platform because she was prepared to swear allegiance to the Crown under the system she decries.
I, Sovereign Lydia Thorpe,
do solemnly and sincerely affirm and declare that I will be faithful and I bear true allegiance to the colonising Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
Senator Thorpe.
She should have been thrown out at that point, but we're too weak. We're letting these rogues get into positions of authority, and this is what you end up with.
It is an absolute shambles, and we all pay for it, and we all wear some of the embarrassment. And for now, the only way to get Thorpe to leave the Senate is to appeal to her non-existent good grace.
I think there's a very strong argument for somebody who doesn't believe in the system but's willing to take $250,000 a year from the system to resign in principle. And if you were really, truly about your cause and not just about yourself, then I think that's a decision that you would make.
No chance of that happening, I'd say, which means we are left only with the drama that Thorpe's added to this royal visit.
Why is Lydia Thorpe such a race baiter? Why does this independent senator mock our parliament, demand Aboriginal sovereignty, celebrate an arson attack on our old Parliament House and tell Aborigines they are at war with whites?
This is a war! They are still killing us! They are still stealing our babies! They are killing our men! And they are still raping our women!
Who is this angry race baiter who racially abused white men at a strip club in Melbourne last week after telling them they'd stolen her land?
You know what I say? You know what I say to you? Shut up. You know what I say to you? And you?
You're a racist
penis.
dog.
Oh, penis. All I want to say to the black brothers there, and anyone that we're fighting, any black man that stands with a white little like that, you can all get too.
Thorpe today said she was just defending herself from racists there and accused Prime Minister Anthony Albanese of being a racist too for saying she needed help for health issues. But even Thorpe herself seems at times puzzled by people's reaction to her.
What kind of person do you think I am?
Let's answer that. One of the people who knows best what kind of person Thorpe is and why she behaves as she does is her father, Roy Illingworth, who joins me now. Roy Illingworth, thank you so much for joining me. Your daughter asked in the Senate the other day, what kind of person do you think I am? Well, can you answer that for us?
Yeah, that's a hard one. Well, the way I see it, the way she is and the way she's changed over the years is that I think she's a very racist person against white people, and she doesn't acknowledge any of her white side. So yeah, I'm a bit disappointed in her, the way she's been carrying on lately, because after all she has got English background as well as Irish, a convict side of the English. So yeah, the way she's carrying on, I don't know, it's been probably used by someone or some people, but normally she never used to be like that. Maybe it's the power going to her head too, not sure. But she's still my daughter, I still love her.
Yeah, well, you mentioned the racism business, and at that strip club last Sunday morning, for instance, she said she called someone a white C word, a little dog, and said we, meaning apparently Aborigines, and her, have been oppressed all our effing life in this country as well. Now, you're white, you're her father. When she says she was oppressed all her life, is that how you remember it?
Yeah, no, there's no way she was. She was spoilt. In my era, with all the elders and everything, back then, she was the first kind of born among, all the cousins and everything, so she was really spoilt. She never went without anything growing up. I was in rented houses, wasn't in commission houses, we rented houses. So she was the sport. She got everything she wanted, and she knows that too. So, you know, and most of the city people there, they've grown up pretty comfortably. They've been all right. Yeah. So, no, she's not right there. And now she's even more privileged now. So the position she's in.
When is it, Roy, that your daughter first became politicised as, you know, sort of like a political Aborigine, as it were, and, you know, not someone of white and English and Irish and Aboriginal ancestry, but just Aboriginal? When was that?
Would have been when she was probably 16, 17. The first kind of, once you stopped the pipeline from going through now an hour, they were going to go across the creek or the river there, and she stopped that, so they had to divert around it. That was basically the start of it all. And then from then on, she was just, you know, with the greenies and stuff like that. And it's probably, I know since she's been running for a politician, that she's more kind of turned racist. She's never ever mentioned anything about me in all her speeches or anything like that. Never mentioned anything about her white father, which, you know, sometimes disappoints me a bit, because I know when she was younger and little, she was never like that. But,
Well,
yeah,
she did post on social media once that you were racist, so I guess it's
yeah,
going both ways at the moment. Now, it's no secret that you are estranged from your daughter. Can I ask why that is? Don't answer if it's too personal.
Well, probably because I moved away too from her, and I just I don't know, towards the end I didn't trust her. She said a lot of bad and evil things to me over the years, and I just kind of, you know, just fell out away from her. She never acknowledged her brother, her only brother, because he's white, her other sister. Yeah, it's just, she was very cruel to me a few times. So I just didn't have really much to do with her, but she still contacts me for Father's Day and birthday, and she rang me not long ago. So yeah, we still love each other, and at the end of the day, she's always going to be my daughter. So what can you do?